likely, most likely. Yep. Disable these sounds. Come back over. Do this. There we go. Alright, so hello and welcome. One and all. Don't mind me also just tearing open tree decorations. Hello and welcome, how we doing? It is Serral versus Astrea PvZ. Best of 3 here in Masters Coliseum. Group A, Day 2. Do you think we're going to have a pretty fun one? I think this is going to be a pretty enjoyable couple of matches. I really do think after yesterday as well, I was super impressed by Astrea, so I'm going to be really intrigued to see how well he can do today. See if he can really put up like a challenge to Serral or so. Honestly, I don't see why not. He played great, especially in PvZ yesterday. The only problem I have is that Astrea looked the best when the game just sort of, you know, settled down and got comfortable. I mean, isn't that what we just love when Serral plays StarCraft too? When the game just settles down, he gets comfortable, he makes the game comfortable for himself. I feel like if Astrea wants to play his game, he's also going to be playing Serral's game. And, yeah, that is not exactly an easy game to be playing, is the TLDR on that one, so I'm definitely thinking that that might be a factor as well. But we'll see how it all goes, we'll see how it all heads up as we get ourselves started here in just a couple of moments. With some action, obviously, PvZ will take a moment or two to truly get underway, so we don't see too much of anything just yet. We take a moment to let things settle down, and all of that loveliness. I mean, we also had Serral obviously looking good against QA yesterday as well. Now we get 2 matches of Serral today, Astrea and versus Shin. And again, the way this really works is if there's not really any upsets, like if Serral just wins out, Astrea advances. So if Serral beats Shin, then Astrea basically just gets through anyway. So yeah, obviously Astrea can control his destiny a little bit right now by playing well in this series. But there is absolutely a world where even if he loses this, he's done a good job. And if Serral just beats Shin, it doesn't really matter. And even if Serral doesn't beat Shin, there's a world where Astrea still advances on map score. He had a pretty good map score. He 2-0'd Shin, that would help him a lot. Q is already 0-2, so Q is not a threat to Astrea. Can't get to the same match score. And the fact that Astrea has a 2-0 over Shin, I think, does a lot for him in terms of being able to, like I say, just be extremely comfortable in this series. I think there's a lot to be said about that right now as we get underway. Deb going to come about, the blink is on the way up, the warp gate's coming through as well. Pro pulls over to the side, and we just have ourselves a pro actually going to come back across. Get pylon placed down for a couple of moments, just get that straight underway. And yeah, link speed coming through. Blink is on the way up as well, and continue to bring all of that into action at the moment. Now we're going to get up to the top side. There's Astrea. Clearly has something a little cheeky up his sleeve. Now Serral's building a Baneling nest pretty quickly here, so he's going to prep in that regard. That blink already on the way through. He doesn't see the Bane nest. I mean, Bane's being made. Bane nest on the way up. All the gates from Astrea. He just goes for a big gateway. Blink Stalker time. The thing is, he opened Twilight Council, so I think Serral is basically prepping for this as though it's like an adept attack, so you're going to have Banelings to deal with it. But, yeah, he's going to have Banelings to deal with it, but then this is actually going to be Stalker, so I don't think the Banes are going to do too much there. Obviously amazing to find that initial pylon. That's an amazing catch. That is going to do a lot of favors for you in these early stages. So that's definitely going to help. As the Stalkers come back around, another Stalker warping in. 12 more Lings and an Overlord on the way up at the moment. Road drawing now starts as Serral begins to realize a little bit of what is up. So yeah, because it's just straight to Twilight Council, you probably expect Glaives, but this is instead just going to be a Blink Stalker all in. Just don't think it's going anywhere for Astrea. And Serral just figuring this out and getting all the scout information he needs. Obviously does a lot for him in that regard. The Ling's now chasing down these Stalkers, and this is not pretty at all. This is nigh on disastrous. As, I mean, you're just losing Stalkers. Like I say, you don't need the Banelings in this scenario. If this had got better set up from Astrea, obviously then Serral's tech into the Baneling nest would be like, oh, that's such a waste, and that might have cost him some of the money he needed. and he could have done with that being a Roach Roar instead. But because it's being shut down so quickly, Serral is just able to jump on all of these Stalkers, and this is not even a competition. This is plain simple and easy as these little Stalkers just go down and down and down. I mean, they are having a bad time. The Lings will continue to run through, and they're going to come and show up, jumping onto all those Stalkers once again. Stalkers continue to take a whole chunk of damage. I mean, like I say, try and save this situation, Astrea. I just don't think you do. Serral is now building Roaches, so it's not just the Lings. He's going to have a better kind of backup to this. I wouldn't say any of these Lings have actually traded badly either. You know, sometimes it's like, oh, maybe he should have just backed away. Maybe he should have waited for the Roaches. I actually think he's been absolutely fine for every single trade that he's taken. So far, it's been absolutely spot on. No issues at all. So, yeah, absolutely fine there. As we'll have Stalker's going to get through. The Overlord will go down. And the rest of the Lings still on the move. Ravages morphing. Roaches coming up. But our Lings moving about here and there. The Lairs on the way through as well. The Lings and the Ravagers continue to go back the other direction. The Stalkers continuing around. The Lings is going to be there. Queens and Roaches are going to be there. The Ravagers as well up that ramp. Just continue to chase. Stalker's going to get hunted down. So all those Stalkers in trouble right away. I mean, they're actually trading pretty well against some of the Lings that are showing up now. This might be one of the moments where it's actually like, hey, did we actually really want to go this far as Serral? The Ravagers got exposed there for a moment or two as well, but then extra circling show up. And it's very rare. Serral makes a misjudgment, a miscall on taking a fight and then, you know, committing to an engagement. That was absolutely not one of those go-back-in game. Oh, they actually really started this one quickly, huh? Yesterday they had a couple of minutes between maps here and there. I don't know if that was like the admins doing of like, oh, hey, we actually need to play some sponsorship stuff or something and just let's take a moment. Apparently not the case. Apparently the players maybe needed a minute yesterday. Whereas today we're all good. Well, very happy to be all good and to get us a move in. As we get started out, I'd like to see where we're going to go and what we're going to be doing for a few moments here. Like I say, Astrea playing a bit of a funky style in that last one. Mixing it up a little bit and going for something a little bit different. It's so difficult to trick Serral. He's so good. He knows all the things to look for. He knows all the time as a scout. He'll figure out little things that are missing as well to kind of make him maybe even scout a little further if he feels it's necessary, right? I mean, we can not do anything but praise Serral's commitment to the ability of scouting and being able to figure out what's going on. And that's what's made Serral so consistent over a long period of time, is that you can't just cheese this guy out, right? This guy does not get caught off guard by a cheeky build here and a cheeky build there, and if it does, it's very rarely. And that really is the difference of him being so dominant, because a lot of people tried it, right? For a long time as well, and it just never worked. Whereas those are the ways sometimes you beat the better players, you beat the stronger players, or the more well-rounded players. Serral's playstyle is really very resilient to that, though, and that, just like I say, is probably going to make it one of the better playstyles to be dominant with, which is exactly obviously what he's done in his StarCraft career. Let's see the Queen coming up, group team coming out the front as well, so just going to get all of that underway right from the very get-go. Step going to go shading forward just a little bit, going to come straight across, try and see what we can do. And Deb going to hit the hatchery for a few moments again. Oracle and the Warp Gate both coming up, so all of that coming online as well. As the Oracle will go Chrono Boosting out of the stop gates. Just going to get that on the move as well. Going to get that going straight away. Going to be then, your Adept will take a few shots of damage, so Adept going to take some hits. Going to be moving about. So it looks as though this time we are prepping to take a nice fast third base in Astrea. It was just with the Stargate opening, a lot more regular, a lot more standard. Definitely not looking like he wants to be the big old aggressor this time around. Just playing a very different style of game. Twilight Council coming up, Gateway coming through as well. We've got ourselves the next coming by on the third. And yeah, Serral just shown us drone, shown us an Overlord. He knows that this is so far very standard and nothing happening from the Protoss, so he has had absolutely zero reason to come in and do anything differently himself. So yeah, he also just sits back and lets this kind of develop through as the Oracle continues to go after a couple more creep teamers for a few moments. Stalker now going to poke onto the Overlord. Blink is on the way up, getting chrono boosted as we speak. Oracle's going to get around the back, and we get a few drones. Serral not completely resilient here. He's actually going to be able to get in and get some drone damage. But I mean, it's difficult to completely deny the Oracles. Obviously, some games you do really just get it where it's like no damage taken. Limited numbers of drones. The deeper into the game we go, the less that's going to be impactful as well. So I think all of that helps as Stalkers continue through for a moment or so. Oracle's still moving forward as well, just for now. And on we go. Units moving into the middle of the map. Overlord here going to be taking some shots also. Stalker's going to be able to knock that down pretty easily. Now jumping onto some creep humans and a couple of the queens. A little bit more damage being done here and there. Oracles will activate again and the Lings get chased away. A little revelation comes down. Let's get rid of a creep teamer, so again, just a little bit more damage being dealt here and there for the moment. Plus from melee, the roach speed, infestation pit, all that continues to come about right now as our Stalkers and the Adept. Gonna hit the few Zerglings for just a couple of moments as well, so a little bit more damage on that one. I'm just going to get back up to the top side, just going to try and go after those Stalkers. Stalkers move about, Stasis Wood coming in, again Temple Archives, Robo Facility. +1 in charge, we'll continue to build up right now, so we get all of that again producing already. And the units just moving around the center, so Astrea happy to take some map control here on ley lines. This map is very fun for moving around and kind of how the game develops, so definitely one thing we continue to watch for as we move through this. Stalker shots coming down, guys. I see the game is a little laggy as well, by the way. That is not on our side, that is the clean feed going a little bit haywire. Well, it's not even the clean feed, it's literally just what they are sending to us. It's got some frame rate issues, so this didn't happen yesterday, but it's a frequent issue when WTL sends us a clean feed, so I can only hope that's going to get resolved and hopefully it doesn't impact us too much. You know, we can only do so much with the quality of the stream when we're casting off this clean feed as well, so apologies for that. As do you have our Stalker going to go back onto the Overseer there, get a little bit more damage done. Overseer again chased about for the moment. Oracle's firing. Flying Roach coming back the other way. Now, Speed Racer, thank you so much for the 56-month resub as well. Appreciate it. Thank you for supporting the channel today. A little bit lively today than it was yesterday. Yesterday was super quiet when during the Masters Coliseum games. But, everyone's got a sub to share today, apparently. Thank you so much, guys. Appreciate it. Stalker's with High Templar pushing down the bottom side. Going to get some creep tumors. Serral prepping with the Hydras. Obviously, he's on his way to the adrenal glands and hive tech in general, so he's going to be able to have access to what Lurk as soon as he would like it. Ceiling Hydra ain't going to cut it forever, as I think it's this army of Astrea right now. Actually pretty scary, as all those Lings and Hydras keep moving about. Stalker's getting a few more lings killed out on the top side. Just going to clean up over here. Now our Stalker's going to get through for some of the creep tumors in the middle of the map as well. Coming through, Mortal on the way, +2 attack and shields coming up as well. Astrea happy to go into leaping, and I mean, probably can't kill Serral just attacking through. That was a good moment from Astrea, but a good moment does not equate to just being able to completely dive through and make it happen, right? So, we're back a little. These lanes gonna get chased. I mean, I think you should still stay here with this army. I think there's good trades to be had at the moment, but like I say, there's only so far forward you can press. Serral can hold the Rams. He's splitting very well against the Storms, actually. Continuing to maintain good HP on his units, right? Not letting them get splashed down and whittled away at before a big fight really breaks out at all. So I think that's very important too. I think that goes a long way for you. You finally get to see Max Packs? No. Not today. Max Packs plays in Group B, which is next week, I believe, alongside Raynor. I believe, if I'm not mistaken. Just gonna see a couple of storms coming down here as the Lurker's obviously getting across the map. Good defense from Astrea, honestly. Serral loses that group of units, and Astrea is able to trade very well with that, so that actually goes very nicely. Move over. And forward hat trick going down as well. I still like what Astrea is doing. I feel like he's actually taking some pretty reasonable fights for himself. He's doing a good job of not letting Serral just have every base on the map for free as well, which is sometimes just a given when Serral's playing. People just like, yeah, you know what, Serral, you're right. You know, you deserve every base. Astrea is very happy to get out there and contest it. He's playing the middle of the map. He's playing actively. He's not playing afraid, I think, is one of the most important things. So I think in a lot of ZvPs when you're playing against Serral, as the Protoss, a lot of the Protoss players are like, man, like, how are we ever meant to get anything done? And so they just play that little bit more passively than they might typically play. Because they kind of poke the first time and say, okay, the defense is good, yeah, okay. But I think Astrea benefits a lot from just having the confidence to be persistent. It can be daunting to constantly be on the map against one of the best players we've ever had. But yeah, he's standing out there, he's doing his thing, he knows that he needs to be consistent with that, otherwise Serral does just settle down and this game becomes really difficult to pull back into your favor at that point. So Stasis Ward's catching lings, that's not really a huge issue, as the Stasis Ward's getting cleaned up allows for the rest of the army to potentially come through. Tempests are producing as well, by the way, as we work our way towards a higher tech tier from our Protoss. So +2 air weapons gets denied, love the contamination. Always a fun play that does a lot for very little. If you can find a good thing to contaminate, slowing down upgrades, it's almost always going to benefit you. There's a couple more storms going down here, those High Templar getting chased. Just Corrupt is continuing across. Well, that's Corrupt is all coming through as well. We have ourselves a +3 attack, +2 air weapons, Tempests building up for the moment. Lurker's going to get burrowed up there. They're going to push back. So this does not lose these kind of games. Yeah, I mean, that's kind of the problem. I feel like Astrea is most comfortable when the game gets here, just as is Serral, right? This is when Serral's at his absolute best. Very few Protoss players have been able to challenge Serral at this sort of stage of the game. Hero, when he plays his absolute tip-top StarCraft. Showtime has had some very good games against Serral at this stage of the game as well. He's just so freaking good. Like, at the end of the day, that's what it comes down to. Dude's just freaking good at StarCraft too. That is very much so what we're seeing right there, here. As Lurkers burrow up, Immortals, Archons, Gonna get chased away a little bit. Plus 3 melee and plus 3 missiles all coming up as well. Couple of shots, Roach is taking damage. See the Lurk is coming over. Ling's gonna take a few more hits as well. The Storm coming down. Again, sorry that the feed's so laggy, guys. Again, there's just nothing I can do personally about that. Tempest's gonna fire forward. The shots coming in, and Astrea. I mean, like I say, Astrea confidently kind of taking down certain positions. That was the mothership, I believe. Just kind of wandering through. I'm not sure what it was doing over there in the first place, to be honest. That doesn't seem like it should have really been there at all. Not exactly an ideal moment in the slightest. And Tempest Archons, the Immortals, continue to gather. A couple of those Archons still morphing in as we speak. Storm. Corruptor's taking a bunch of damage there. I mean, Corruptors obviously would like to be able to commit onto those Tempests. They are taking so much damage though. I'm terrified for these Corruptors. They're going to be low HP. Serral chasing a little bit too far there. Actually taking a bad fight. I think once he took 1 or 2 more of those Storms, he should have absolutely just been thinking, oh no, this is not it. But he was kind of committed and kind of was just pushing forward as Astrea puts himself into a good position. Again, consistency with this army is benefiting him. Now we see Serral actually going to morph a bunch of those Corruptors into Broods. Will replace more Corruptors as well, but going more heavily into the air army. Archon's going to come pressing up as we go through some spores. There's Hatcher going to be in trouble as well. Hatchery will go down. Just going to be seen our Lurkers are going to try and step forward as well. Army pulls back over to the right. Testers on the low ground. They're going to move up. They're going to be a big part of this, guys, as just need to snooze the ads because this game is starting to go a little bit longer. That's sorted out. Focus back on the game for a little bit as Tempest are coming around the center. I mean, the thing is, Astrea has been so good at being able to hold the middle of the map with his army, which makes it very difficult for Serral to get any good kind of lurker siege ups or just siege positions with Broodlords even. I know the Broodlords are a newer addition, but that will also be a difficulty. And because of the way the map works, there's going to be a lot of mobility on this map too. Those lurkers are going to get burrowed up as the Oracles will be there to provide protection if required. A couple of feedbacks coming through. You're going to see the Corruptors still taking some damage as well. So shots across the board. As the Broodlords continue to go back to the front. Go chasing about for a little further there. Tempests, Archons, Immortals and the rest joining through as the Archon's going to hit for a couple of those Lings as well. We're going to drop a little Revelation down. It's going to be seeing those Tempests. Going to go shooting away at the Hatchery, and this Hatchery is going to fall as well. So again, Serral is not being allowed a lot of the bases, which at this point I think he would typically be expecting to be able to keep a hold of. Serral clearly struggling in that regard. Our Tempest, Immortal, and Archons come back around the other way. Lurkers are going to move across also. Tempest Archon continues to move over. Just going to get back into the center. Gates, Dark Shrine coming up, the Nexus, the Mothership, all continuing through. And all of our upgrades continue about as well. Hatchery going to be there. Broods joining us. I was going to shoot away. The hatch and the gas continues to come about. Tempest very much so still firing his... Serral trying to find the fight. Broodlord's chasing. We shot at a couple Corruptors there as well. And Fest is being added on from Serral, who's maybe realizing he just needs more spellcasters to really, truly lock down this army in the near future. So we'll be kind of trending toward that at the moment, it seems. Archons and the Tempest will come straight across. Storms coming through as well, those Corruptors. Gotta stay tight in the sky. Gotta be careful. They can go down so easily. The Tempest gonna chase for the Broodlords. Serral continues to just stay in a pretty pinned back position. I mean, he's losing bases. Astrea, it feels like Astrea's never had to move away from the middle of the map, right? Like the entire game, Astrea has just completely controlled this central area. His army has always been here. It's almost like he was built into the map. Like, you know, you might be able to move it around a little bit, but it's always there because it's meant to be there. That's what it feels like. I mean, that's how oppressive his army has been in taking position. But that hatchery will go down. So we knock down a hatch, and this Tempest Archon force moves elsewhere. Going to relocate a little bit. So Queen getting surrounded. Nidus in the bottom corner, going down too. As the Tempest Archon force going to come back around. Revelation into the center. Shadow Strike continue to build. We've seen a couple of hatcheries coming up as well. And +3 carapace coming in. The hatch is coming over. Settle down for a little bit. In the top left, I mean, I love this little harassing squad of units. Feels like it has actually a lot of potential. Something so has to respect. He's going to hit the bottom right with the Ling run by at the same time. Broodlords will get there to clean the top, but does that maybe mean Astrea can move in a position? He now knows where the Broods are. He can either work around them or force a fight toward them if that's what he feels like he can get away with, perhaps. So, opportunities there. We'll see again how Astrea handles this as this situation progresses. Shadow Stride coming through too. The additional Archons all coming into play. Archons and Tempest continue to come through. Let's drop a little Revelation down. Just going to be seeing the hatch getting caught. DT going to continue to get onto a couple of those Zerglings. A little bit more damage being dealt there. A few more shots coming over. Tempest flying away. I mean, some more shots continue to come about. Just going to be seeing the Spine's going to be in trouble there too. Since hits continue to come about from afar. So that's going to get there. The hatchery going to go down. So we'll see that dropping in the next few moments. A few drones dropping from Serral. Bank-wise, Astrea has a ton of gas. Serral has quite a bit of gas as well, but Astrea has much more. Astrea also has 14,000 minerals at the moment. So that's obviously a crap ton of money that he has to work with. So Astrea in a fantastic spot in terms of money to spend. Archon's Tempest actually chasing Infestors there, which don't really want to be losing. I think Astrea is really kind of putting Serral into a little bit of a, I want to say a little bit of a checkmate. He's playing a fantastic game of StarCraft 2, honestly. I mean, Astrea, the story of this group for me is just that Astrea has surprisingly impressed us. Like, you know, I expect Astrea to be good. I did not expect Astrea to be this good. I didn't expect him to be this good yesterday. And when he played yesterday, I was like, man, I'm really looking forward to see what he does against Serral, because it kind of makes me feel as though he might actually have a chance if he's playing this good, because he was playing that good yesterday. Apparently he really is as well, because here he is now controlling the game versus Serral, 25 minutes deep in Serral's best playing field, his best battleground of the late game. Astrea has been controlling this game throughout. Oh, has Astrea just become like a whole new beast? Like, when the hell did this happen? I'm genuinely so amazed and impressed. Couple of, well, a fungal comes down, so a shot of 2 coming off over there. We've seen another Stormosaur coming through as well. Probably going to get chased around. The Broodlords will come back across. Wow, Astrea, I was just going to say, Astrea versus Serral. Game number 3, deciding map right here this series as we get this all up and running. I mean, I do kind of ask what Astrea brings to this game, because like I say, he's coming with a little bit of a different plan and a solid build order choice for each game so far, so I wonder if that continues into a game 3 now. How much does he have planned out? Does he have a third build prepared for this series? And the awesome part of Monster Coliseum is this is a big enough tournament for players to sit down and prepare some builds and to prepare some strats and to think about how they approach these matches. And that's exactly where someone like Astrea can shine, and obviously in this event so far has absolutely shone right like a star. If Astrea wins this, he's first place in the group. I mean, no doubt. Like, he would just be first place. I would actually make Serral potentially just a win or die in the entire tournament matchup. That's scary for ZvZ. So much of this group becomes question markable if you get to the point of going into Astrea winning. Wild. Absolutely wild. I love it though. I absolutely love it as well. Amazing. Now we settle down. Hatch, gas. Spawning pool coming up as we take a few moments to get into this here. Next is coming up. Just going to be seeing a second gateway early from Astrea, so already a little bit funky. Maybe some 2-gate pressure. You don't see 2-gate pressure a lot, but if you get 2 adepts out early, you can obviously get across the map and threaten the drone line a little bit more heavily. So yeah, second gateway coming online here from Astrea as we prep ourselves on Amygdala. Interesting map with the gold base available in the center, but that's going to be tough to take. If someone can control the middle of the map, they can pretty much deny their opponent from having that gold. And obviously you got to play around the 2 different sides of the map. Those 2 avenues left and right until the middle of the map opens up as well, which is also interesting. Plus you get the watchtowers to help you control those areas, so very interesting setups that we're getting right here. Lane's going to go after a probe for a couple of moments. The probe's going to take some damage. And Link Speed coming up, Patrick coming through. Get rid of the high ground. Overlord. A couple of devs moving up. The Ling's going to be there as well. I'm going to get pushed away. I'm just going to go shading onto the map, and we'll see if this depth pressure can get anything done. Still waiting. I mean, we actually just go 3rd and 4th gate. Wow. 3rd and 4th gate builds a 3rd nexus. I wonder if that's truly a 3rd nexus. I mean, 4 gates without a tech structure is very interesting. There's going to be a lot of units very quickly. Serral's building a roach roar, which would suggest you're probably going to be okay against this. Are we just going to build a bunch of adepts and just send it? Definitely feels like that right now, doesn't it? So a bunch of adepts. I mean, like I say, the road drone should keep you very safe here as Serral. Alright, this is going to go one of two ways. It's either going to be genius and I'm going to love it, or it's going to flop and I'm going to hate it for the fact that he didn't play another macro game after that second game. Adepts are going to shade forward. That's a full wall off, so we're going to block the adepts initially. Again, these are not, glaive adepts or anything. These are just boring old adepts, and Astrea now gets the Twilight Council going behind it, so he's just going to try and threaten as much as he can with these adepts initially and keep Serral busy. So there's some adepts over here, some adepts still threatening the natural, but the wall off there has been good to kind of deny them. Yeah, they have not moved in because of that wall off, so that's going to be completely golden. Queen coming back the other direction again. Lings and roaches joining up as well. Things going to get wrapped around onto a few adepts, so those adepts going to start going down. The Lings keep moving about as well. Adepts now moving the other direction for a few moments here as we continue to settle down and get set up. The adepts continue to go forwards again. Just going to keep hitting these mineral lines. Constant attempted pressure, but Roach is in position, so these adepts will not last long. Serral continues to defend well. Is the tale as old as time. But definitely a... I mean, that's the problem with this build, I feel like, from Astrea. Like, you commit to, like, very delayed tech. If you don't get anything done, are you just now in a lot of trouble? How does this work? He's going to be on a way later blink. If Serral realizes what's happening, that he's defended so well, maybe he can even go into just him, set himself up into kind of like a bit more greed, right? He can just kind of unit up, for, drone up for a bit longer than usual as well, but Serral's not currently doing that, so maybe he doesn't have a full idea of what's happened here. Because I don't think there's anything that's going to be dangerous to you anytime soon. Serral getting a Bane Nest as upgrades come in. He's just started upgrades, so he shouldn't be looking to attack, but he is cutting to 63 drones and making a lot of units right now. I mean, this might just be to deal with these Stalkers, and then he's going to macro on from there, but at the moment he's definitely not quite fully on the macro setup as Ling Roach Ravager comes over. A couple of force fields are going to get popped by the Corrosive Vials. That's the Stalkers step up, Queens on either side. Roaches and Ravagers will take some damage as well. Continue to be funny as the Lings and the Roaches push on through. A couple of Corrosive Vials dropping in from the skies, so they're going to come about also. So we're still seeing if there's opportunity here. Once Blinkers up, obviously these Stalkers become a lot better, and they have gotten to that stage now. Serral is obviously on his way to his hive, but Astrea's on his way to the Robo Bay second facility, so his entire army is going to develop from this point. It's going to be a very different comp to what we saw last time, as the Colossus are likely going to take to the stage to begin with. So, yeah, Astrea playing very differently from that kind of Archon Immortal Storm that we saw, that poking forwards at the start of Ley Lines. So yeah, early game, Astrea already being very differently set up in comparison to last game. Colossus coming by, just going to have ourselves the Prism loading up, going to get on the move. These arts there will start to come across as, again, the Hive getting going, get that started. It's just going to be seeing the Baneling speed, and plus 2 missiles is on the way. Drone on the way up as well. Stalker's going to pull back down the bottom as Ling Roach Ravager chases. That hatchery did go down, so the Stalker's got the kill on the hatchery. That's a big deal in the grand scheme of things, especially if Astrea can play well defensively back at home. I mean, that was Serral's 4th base. He's double expanding right now to 4th and 5th, the 5th being the gold, which obviously Astrea has not been super active in the middle of the map, so you can probably get away with the gold base for now, so that is a bonus. So yeah, get away with that, get the gold base while you can. It may not be something you can have forever, right? So yeah, take control of that one while it's open to you. Stalkers, Colossus, Zealots coming up as well. In vain, Roach Ravager continuing across. Just going to come straight over here. Adrenal glands, +2 missiles, +2 melee. Gonna continue to come by. Colossus gonna fire up. The few stalkers come over as well. Bane just gonna continue to chase. I mean, this is Astrea kind of getting caught a little bit. Now the Colossus are putting good damage in on the Lings. Can we keep the Colossus alive so far? Yes. Love that. A lot of the Banes went down, so we started to let some Zealots slip through into the fight. And the Colossus get out of there, having dealt, honestly, quite a lot of damage. So, Colossus live. Honestly, turned out okay for Astrea. The chase from Serral was not quite as dominant as it kind of looked as though it was going to be at the start. Definitely felt at first it was going to be a big commitment, but not the case. Storm coming through, +2 attack coming online. Couple more mortals coming up as well, so we bring those through for the moment, get all of that coming. And the Storm and the +3 attack upgrade also producing for the moment. There you go, with Serral actually going to attack forward. Storm not done quite yet, so the High Templar is just going to go running. Getting chased by Banelings though, don't even morph them into Archons, so a bunch of High Templar go down. And if we had Storm, this would have already been a different fight, but I think it's actually already good enough for Astrea. Just a shame he couldn't save the High Templar or even morph them into Archons. A bit of greed and trying to be like, oh, you know what, if I can maybe just, kind of, keep them alive, I have my Storms available soon, but that is just greed. In a world where you have energy overcharge to set new High Templar up very quickly anyway, I think that's just greedy. That could have been a couple of Archons morph, and that would have been an even better fight for Astrea, because honestly it was pretty good for him anyway. So good so that he's actually coming back across the map to look to maybe create an engagement. High Templar's lagging behind, no energy on them yet, so needs to be a little cautious of timing when he goes with those and when he doesn't, but generally looking very comfortable. Storm's coming down, Roach and Ravager getting hit across those Storms at the moment. A couple more Colossus going to fire up. The Roach Ravager Bane gets turned the other direction. The Viper will go down. I think it's actually going to get through. Ooh, I need to see Serral being able to succeed on some aggression. That's been one of the issues. He's not been able to get anything going for himself in any of those fights, right? So Serral actually being able to succeed with some of those run-bys is going to do a lot for him. So Serral will see a lot of benefits coming from that, as the couple of Archons you have to turn back around and go the other way. Archons still trying to fight. The Immortals are going to step up as well. The battery continues to heal up some probes. You step through. Those Lings are going to step away. Roaches are going to move their way into the natural expansion. And Lingbane Roach continues to come about for a little bit longer. A good Storm on the bottom side. The Ling Roach going to take a lot of damage. Colossus getting chased. Immortals going to get hunted down as well. There's one Colossus going down there. The few Zealots going to charge in from the bottom side also. Trying to get across. I mean, Astrea, and both players are going to lose a lot. Astrea's losing a lot of probes during this, so 14 probes go down. I feel like that's... I mean, honestly, this was, I think, good for Astrea because he keeps some of his tech units alive. And Bane's over here still rolling through. I mean, the economies are fine for Astrea. He's actually on equal work account. Astrea's winning this game. He's winning this series, guys. Serral's in trouble. Serral is in trouble as Astrea has been an absolute superstar in this tournament so far. And he's honestly, I'm kind of sad that this tournament's so dragged out, because I want to see Astrea in this form next week in the playoffs, you know? We're not going to see Astrea for another 4 weeks in this tournament. Holy, I mean, how did he... he's just playing amazing. He's genuinely just playing amazing. Now, this game's not won yet. Serral is rebuilding up, but he's not reproducing any workers, so Serral's economy is a little bit in the gutter, like, compared to where he wants it to be, absolutely. I mean, 58 drones is really not a lot to work on, so that part of this is not looking pretty for him. It's all going to get cancelled on Astrea's attempted gold. That's maybe one issue, is that Astrea only currently has 4 bases up. Okay, Astrea is actually really struggling to rebuild supply compared to Serral. Now, Serral's building cheap units, but sometimes quantity does work over quality. Oh man, I really... Astrea's supply, like, really just halted, didn't it? Loses 9 more probes as well. Like I say, Serral just building up. Finally adds a couple of drones in as he decides to stop just going for the pure units. But, I mean, he's pretty much maxed out. And Astrea, this is not the time to be moving now because Serral made such a commitment to units. Now, again, the quality of Astrea's army is extremely good. Like I say, sometimes you just get overwhelmed, though. That's a run-by at the front. The Zealot on hold position will need some reinforcements. Additional Zealots get warped in. That run-by looks as though it'll be held away. What's interesting now is that if Serral doesn't commit with that army he made a really low-tech army, and now he's going to have to find a way to slowly filter that out into higher-tech units. So this run-by doesn't do much, but it frees up supply for a couple of Vipers. He morphs some Banelings. There's even more Zerglings, though, in fact, so maybe he is just going to send it like this, and with a couple of Vipers can abduct some of the key units forward. It would be really critical if Astrea could find a feedback on some of those Vipers just to stop, like, Colossus or, like I said, just any major unit from being abducted in. Keep those alive as long as possible in this upcoming fight, and he will absolutely stand a chance as his supply finally is getting back on track up to 150. Like I say, it's just... I think it's just because Astrea is not building a lot of bulk. It is every unit he has right now is a high-quality unit. There's not even really any Zealots in this army. Shows up over here. I love this Prism going hunting, just seeing, hey, can I find myself a little Storm initially? And he does find a little Storm. He gets a couple of shots off with that. He's going to find another good Storm. Hits quite a few units with that. Hatchery on the gold goes down, so Astrea able to bully his way in position. Serral looking for the wraparound, looking to come in from maybe 2 angles if he is going to have to fight this. Lings on the counterattack again. Astrea losing probes. Astrea's down to 44 workers, so his economy is not good. Does that force Astrea into having to commit to the fight himself? Does he actually have to be the aggressor now because he feels like his eco is too far back? He might, and that could be an issue as we see Serral going to come in from all angles. Storms are pretty good. Are the Storms good enough to clean up some of his final Banelings? They were okay. I just don't think it was good enough. Serral's going to do it. Oh my god, I really thought Astrea had this game. I really thought Astrea had this game as he fights his final battle. Serral is going to take the series, but my goodness.